What's up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. Well, let's jump right into this. What's going on, Ricky, MeX? What's going on, guys? Welcome. Happy Tuesday. It feels like a Monday, right? Feels like a Monday, but it is Tuesday, guys. It is Tuesday. Troy's in the house. What's going on, brother? What is going on, guys? Should have grabbed a fresh one before I started. It's all right. All right, well, let's do this. First things first, make sure you guys slap those likes. And let's get right into this, guys. So as you guys can see from the thumbnail, we're going to be covering a couple things. Got some good articles. A couple things that I've been pointing out for like the last months. And we're going to cover this. A couple other people on Twitter, stuff like that, are starting to catch on if they haven't already. So right now, Bitcoin is sitting at around $58,000, guys. 58K, you guys can see. As of yesterday, we weren't doing terrible, right? We weren't doing bad. Was this yesterday? Let me zoom in. These days are just like, literally, they've been so boring and just like mushing in together. That's right. So yesterday, we actually earlier today, this morning, earlier, 59,000, almost 59,800 is where we were at. We obviously dropped down, could not find any support, and we broke down earlier to about 57,500 and still sitting in this dreaded channel as of now, right, for Bitcoin. But like I was saying, there's a couple things that I want to point out that we are going to cover here that, like I said, if and when this thing plays out, I'm telling you guys, this could be an epic run that we are going to see. But what do I keep saying about all the streams for the last week, 2 weeks, however long we've been really chopping around, is the time frame. We don't know when we're going to see this big move start, but we know that it's going to happen, right? September, historically speaking, like we've been covering for the last week, we've been looking at all the months throughout Bitcoin's history, and usually Septembers end up being not the best months, right? I actually said that I was going to go against the grain, and I'm going to say that September is going to end off in the green. Whether it's just 0.1%, we're going to be in the green, right? But right now you can see Bitcoin sitting at around 58,000. Really not much going on for that. Couple things here. Looking at the alts for the day, you guys can kind of get a gist on what we're seeing for the day. Not really much moving, not much going on. Alts technically are down a considerable amount, 5 to 7% for the day for a lot of these alts. A lot of alts as of yesterday were rallying. A lot of alts picked up, pace and were moving. You can see a lot of them have basically lost any of that momentum as of now, which this is kind of the environment that we're in, right? Remember yesterday I was telling you guys it's become a mental thing as far as right now with crypto. Even with the stock market, you'll have these really good days, or you'll have even a day where it looks like we're starting to pick up and we're going to be setting up for a good time. And then the following day, we lose all those gains, right? And that's what I think right now is battling the demons in regards to just your emotions, these up and down roller coasters, right? A lot of people, they just emotionally can't take it and they're going to eventually sell off, right? And right when that happens, a week later, we're going to be running, right? So don't be those people. Not financial advice. I'm just telling you, if you have the time to just sit there and hodl and continue to take advantage of these big dips that we might see or that we have been seeing here and there, I think long term, it's going to play out for you guys. It's what I'm doing. It's what my strategy is. You guys can see for Solana, earlier today, we were making a nice little trend towards the upside. It looked like, man, we were going to really start retesting some of these levels, and then boom, we broke down. Right before or right after the markets opened up is when we really saw the market start to move back down. Solana sitting at around 129, about 130. So, like I said, alts, the whole market not doing much today. Fear and greed index sitting at around that 47 pretty much sums it up. Right there in the middle, we have half the market that's still very bullish, like myself, and you have the other majority, 53% would be technically majority, right, of the market that's really in fear right now, really, getting all that bearish news from other sources telling you guys that we're about to go in a recession, that it's all over with, right? This bull cycle is finished, blah, 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 blah. Telling you guys, I'm starting to get 2021 vibes in regards to what we're going through right now. We haven't seen the dramatic drops that we saw in 2021, but I'm starting to get that 2021 vibes of when we did see the drops, of how the fear was across the streets, right? So what's going on, Rodney? Ricky said, I know one thing. Manny's in the house. It's okay. Keep holding the line, guys. There we go. Ricky said 58 is great. 52 would be great opportunity to top up some goodies. Definitely. Flip's in the house. What's going on, Flip? Flip, let me talk to you, brother, real quick. I saw your comment that you put yesterday. My bad, bro. You know I'm not trying to get political whatsoever, right? And I told myself today there was some articles that we were going to look at, and I was like, nope. These are a little bit too political. We're not going to go down that road. You know what it is, man, is that we're getting closer and closer into this damn election, and it's just like a rabbit hole, you know, that just sucks you in. No diddy on that, you know, and even though a lot of it has to do with crypto, right? Because it always relates back to crypto. It just, you know, I'm going to try to stay away from it all because at the end of the day, you know, it's something that we don't want to get involved in, right? I feel like we come here to get away from all that political crap, you know, unless it's something that we have to talk about, right? We're just going to stay away from it. So my bad, Flip. And anybody, you know, I respect everybody's political views. Ricky. All right, so yeah, so like I said, 47 right now in the neutral. You know, like I said, if we get into this fear, even if we tap into here, historically speaking, guys, this is honestly a good time to accumulate, even if you haven't, or if you have recently, right? Even if we don't jump into these levels, like I said, me personally, I've accumulated enough for my bags, right? That I only wait for these big drops, right? When we see these big drops is usually when I'm taking advantage of whatever I'm buying in and adding to my bags, right? So like a day like today, it's been really just a sideways kind of a blah day. Not really worried about it. Kind of just sitting there looking at everything, but I'm not going to really pay mind or buy in or add into anything right now that I really have been buying, just because I've already accumulated so much of everything as I've been buying these massive dips. So now let's go. I want to jump into a couple things here, guys. Let's see here. Let me see here. First article. So Bitcoin's wallet linked to Terraform's Daquan moved. Hold on. Bitcoin's wallet linked to Terraform's Daquan moved 62 million. But you know what? This isn't even the article that I want to jump in on. Hold on. There's something I want to jump in on. It was Twitter that I wanted to jump in on. So you guys can see that the thumbnail, right? I've been telling you guys for the last, 3 months that we have been forming, and for Bitcoin particularly, a bull flag, right? I've been telling you guys that this is a big bull flag that we've been forming, and we've been kind of respecting the channels, and you can see this has been here for the last 5 months. I feel like maybe 3 or 4 months. It just feels like it's been longer. This bull flag, right? Obviously we have the pole and then we have the channel. What these bull flags, what they usually do, not every time, but a lot of times they will point towards the upside. And you guys can see for the thumbnail, I wanted to point that out, even though we've been pointing that out for the last few months. And it leads me to Crypto Rover posted this on the on his Twitter page, basically saying what I've been mimicking for the last few months is whenever this Bitcoin pattern breaks out, we'll finally fly to 100K. And this is what I've been indicating, is that finally people are starting to notice that we have been in this massive bull flag. This massive bull flag since March when we made all-time highs. We've been in this bull flag. Now, it's not guaranteed that it's going to play towards the upside, right? But majority of the time it does play out. And if this does play out the way that we're thinking, this could be a massive move, because you guys can see, let's zoom in a little bit more on Bitcoin, because I always show you guys whenever we are panning out some kind of a bull flag. Now, couple things. You guys can see this last bull flag that I pointed out did not play out, right? It broke to the bottom. So these things don't always, they don't always play out. But I'm sure there's plenty of times, if I can get rid of this crappy drawing that I have on here, there's plenty of times that I pointed out to you guys that we were forming a bull flag and we broke out, right? Forming a bull flag and we broke out. There's been plenty of times I can go up and down this channel or this chart and show you guys that we have planted probably, if you've looked at 20 bull flags, 16 of them have played out towards the upside, and you've had a few that didn't, right? So that's why I can't say that this bull flag that we have 100% formed is going to play out towards the upside. But if it does, guys, this isn't your little bull flag, this little daily bull flag. This is like a 3-4 month bull flag that's been playing out. If this thing plays, I'm telling you, this is going to be the one you're going to run to your family and say, Mom, Dad, I've made it. I'm rich, bitch. I'm telling you, if this thing plays out, Bitcoin's going past 100K, and I wouldn't be surprised if this activates altcoin season, right? So you can see his chart's a lot cleaner than mine because we have freaking support levels everywhere and all that good stuff. But you can see since March, this was March, right? You can see March, we made this all-time high. And since then, we have been respecting this channel. Other than this was the dip that we had, that we dropped down last month on the 4th. We dropped down to 49K. Other than then, and look at that, we came right back into this channel, right? If this thing plays out, we could see a massive, massive run here. Let me pull up my other Bitcoin chart from the thumbnail. See if I still have it on there. Do I? Yep, I do. Look at that. Look at that arrow. But this is the chart that we had, that I've been showing, basically similar to this one, but you can see this is the same channel from what we were just looking at. And if something like this was to play out, like I said, we don't have a time frame, right? We don't know when this is going to play out. But if this bull flag plays out, guys, I'm telling you, this can be an epic run that we could see. Now, when could this play out? That's going to be the question, right? That's going to be the question that we're all asking. This could be, in the next month, next week, could be all the way till, the end of this year, right? We always know that when we're in bull runs towards the end of the year is usually when we see these massive runs, right? This could be setting us up for in the next month or two where we could see something where Bitcoin runs deep up towards 100K. So don't think that we are just bringing this up. We've been talking about this I feel like we've been talking about this for the last few months, in all due reality. So, political. Nope, we're not getting into this. Just kidding. Amor said, I just feel it, bro. Milady is going to the stars, but Mog is right there as well. Just know it in my bones. My boy can feel it. He can feel it. He's like, I can feel it. These meme coins are about to take off. And what he's talking about is Milady, obviously, that we always map out. Small market cap. A lot of hype behind the project. There hasn't been massive hype recently, but you guys know how it goes. When the markets are down, meme coins will die out, right? Meme coins die out, but right when the markets start pumping, after Bitcoin already is pumping, what are the next things that really usually start taking off? It's usually your meme coins, right? So it's going to be like in sync. When that bull flag plays out that we just talked about for Bitcoin, you're going to see freaking a week, maybe a few days later, you're going to start seeing the meme coins just start taking off, right? You're going to see the meme coins start taking off. And a project like Milady, a project like Mog, specifically speaking about Milady, and I'm going to throw it in Myro. Just because I've been heavily buying in on Myro, this is another project particularly that I think is going to do really well with such a small market cap, right? You have Milady, $57 million for market cap. Absolutely that's like peanuts compared to what this project's going to get to, right? So something like this won't take much for it to easily, and I'm just mean at the beginning, for this easily to 2-3x as we start running, right? Like I said, you're going to see Bitcoin, you're going to see the bigger caps, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. You're going to see those bigger caps, that top 10, selection of the big caps that are going to start running with Bitcoin, right? Like literally in sync with Bitcoin. And then you're going to see usually the altcoins start running. I'm not saying that all the other alts aren't going to be running as well, but you're going to see that hype start building back up for not only for Milady, for Mog, for Myro. You're going to see PEPE, BONK, Dog with Hat. All these projects are just going to start coming alive again, right? What I keep leaning back to is that we just don't have a time frame on when this is going to happen, but it's going to happen, right? It happens every freaking time. every freaking time, right? So if someone's telling you, well, bro, listen, this cycle is different. It is different. I wouldn't disagree with them whatsoever, but doesn't mean that we still aren't set up for a massive run probably towards the end of this year, beginning of 2025, right? I've been telling you guys this for the last few months, and I had to tone down my bearishness, but I told you guys when I was exiting my positions back a few months ago, I said, listen, the markets look like they're going to be coming down, right? I don't think this is over with, but it just looks like the markets are going to be coming down. And I told you I had sold out almost everything that I had besides our beloved NFK, right? I sold off on everything in the traditional market. And I literally was just kind of dabbling with DeFi, really. But the traditional market sold off on everything. And I just started accumulating in the last few weeks as we had seen these big drops, right? Because I know, my opinion, that even if we do have more pain, perfectly fine. Remember what I was telling you guys last week, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I have big positions, but I also have a lot of liquidity on the side that I'm just, if we see a dip, I'm going to keep just dollar cost averaging in on all the projects that I believe in, right? And if we start running to the moon, I'm good. I have a solid bag of whatever I want pretty much. Obviously, I want to accumulate a lot more, right? Every time we see these days where we start running, I'm like, damn it, Crip. I was like, you should have bought more. You should have bought more. And then the next day we're right back down. I'm like, well, there you go. You got your opportunity again, right? And that's pretty much what the markets have been. It's literally been like that for the last, 2 weeks, really. If you really zoom out, like I've been telling you guys for the last month or two, we have been obviously on a downward trend, making lower highs, right? But I mean, it just it's like an emotional roller coaster that we've been going through, right? And I'm telling you, my opinion, it's going to play out if you just don't let the emotions take over. If you just push out all the emotions, all the FUD, right? The money that you're using, obviously this isn't financial advice, but the money that you're using to buy in or to add to your bags is basically just money that's been sitting on the side, right? It's collecting dust in your bank account, sitting under your bed. You don't need it anytime soon at all. You have plenty of time, right? That's going to set you up if you're dollar cost averaging in for some big moves right there. Obviously, this is my opinion, right? Not financial advice, but I really do think that we have a big run amongst us. We just don't know when. We just don't know when, guys, right? So let's go back to this, to the Twitter spaces. Let's see here. So this man thinks Bitcoin will hit 13 million by 2024. Bro, do you understand if Bitcoin really ran, and I mean, I think one day it could get to something crazy like that because it's a scarce commodity, right? Deflationary asset. If this thing finally does, at one day, even if it's 2050, hits 13 million and this guy's still holding on to what he has, richest man in the world right there. Richest man in the world right there. And what's funny is everything that we looked at, this is pretty much everything that we've been looking at on crypto. There's nothing really new for crypto spaces right now for Twitter. So we'll jump right in. So Bitcoin's on track for 110,000 ? Analysts forecast a Q4 2024 surge. This is what I've been telling you guys, right? Now, obviously, this is all people's opinions, but if we're going to see a run, guys, it's going to be coming up in these last few months that we have of 2024. Is what I think. And this is kind of a chart that we've been looking at on our Twitter spaces, is a cup and handle that's been forming, right? You have the nice cup, you have the handle, and you have the breakout following right after, right? So based on historical and technical patterns, $110,000 Bitcoin remains a possibility. However, some analysts express concerns about potential retracement to 40,000 beforehand. In September 1st, an X-Post popular crypto analyst, Titan of Crypto, shared a bullish outlook, citing technical developments on the Bitcoin chart as grounds that 110,000 is still in play. Now, you notice the wordage there. 110,000 is definitely still in play towards the end of the year, but we could see a $40,000 Bitcoin, right? And, I don't want to bring it back up, but we are going to. I need to just freaking pull up a different chart and have it saved. When you really look at when you look back at 2021, I always tell you guys this, right? We went on a nice run initially towards the beginning of the year, kind of like what we saw here, right? We made at all-time highs at the time around April, and we saw this brutal drop, and we stayed down for a few months, right? Bitcoin went all the way from $65,000+ down to a bottom of 29K. I remember these days. It was brutal, right? Why am I bringing this up? Because this is what they're saying, is that we could easily see some kind of a big retracement, something far bigger than what we've seen so far in the last few months. That could easily be in play. But look what happened after we broke down to that 29K. We ran up and made all-time highs again. And this was at the end of the year. This was the last few months, topping out technically in November the 21st, right here. I'm sorry, November the 9th, right here, of 2021 is where we topped out at the top of the market for this bull run, right? Now, the dates aren't going to be the exact, but it's going to look similar to something like this, possibly, is what it looks like we're setting up for. So, with that being said, if we did drop down to 40K, it's going to scare the living day shit out of a lot of investors, right? Especially people that haven't been around pre, 2022. It's going to scare the hell out of a lot of people. They're going to really run for the hills and give up on crypto, just like they did back in these days. And I was almost one of them. And I told you guys, I tell you the story all the time. I was like, you know what? This is it. I was like, you know what? Either I'm going to zero or I'm going to be a hero, right? I didn't really become a hero, but I made some good money because I pushed out all the bullshit, all the FUD, all the scary, just scary talk, and just kept accumulating. And we obviously went on another run, and I didn't miss this one. I made sure to, as we came towards this top, I made sure to take my profits and really, do really well. And then basically when we went to the bear market, just started accumulating like crazy. This is actually when I started the channel, when we finally got into the bear market. That's when we started the channel back in like 2022, I'd say, towards the end of it. So, we easily could see a drop. We could easily see, and I'm not talking about a $49,000 drop for an hour and then we're right back up to 60K. I'm talking about a drop where we could see us drop down towards those lower 40s, those 40,000s, somewhere around there, and stay around there for a few weeks, driving out a lot of people, right? Only to scare the hell out of everybody, and then the big whales come in, the markets absolutely rip, right? So, telling you guys, if we see something like that, I don't want to hear you guys telling me that you sold everything and you're done with crypto, because I'm going to be over here looking at you like, all right, when we're popping bottles, I don't want to hear it. Flip with the $20 super chat, bro. Appreciate that. Says, I think Turbo runs too. Love Myro. Hell yeah. We'll pull up Turbo here in a second. I know Turbo, dude, like a few months ago, Turbo was like unstoppable. Turbo was running like crazy. So I think Turbo's built up a big community, and I think that Turbo can definitely see a nice run. We'll pull up the charts here in a second. But just coming back to this this article, so this optimism is largely based off of a formation of a cup and handle pattern, which suggests that Bitcoin's uptrend could continue despite its price lapse over the past few months. If patterns follow through, it forecasts a Bitcoin price target of around 110,000, surpassing its previous all-time highs of $73,750.07. They literally went to the exact. So analysts eye Q4 for 2024 for Bitcoin's breakout. So notably, the Titan of crypto pointed to a final quarter of this year as a potential breakout point, describing it as having epic potential, a sentiment echoing by other analysts. In a August 31st X post to his 683,000 followers, Elijah Boom highlighted developments on the Bitcoin price chart that supports the possibility of new all-time highs and quarter four. And you guys can see basically an inverse head and shoulders, right? Inverse. Usually it would be head and shoulders would be reverse, where you would have a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, right? But now you're seeing the inverse head and shoulder, right? So we saw the cup and handle. Now you're seeing the inverse head and shoulder. And then I pointed out the freaking bull flag that we've been basically charting in for the last 4 months, guys. Actually, it's been longer than 4 months if you really think about it. Since April, you can see what's April 4th. It's been 5 months we've been in that bull flag. If that bull flag plays out, guys, I don't mean to keep repeating myself, but it's going to absolutely rip, guys. I'm telling you, do not get psyched out of your positions. Not financial advice. Ricky said, I sold the top of that run and bought the near bottom. Then, like most others, didn't sell the bottom, the double top, anticipating the 150K till, or 150K. That never happened. I hear you, bro. Well, we're not gonna make that again, right? We're definitely gonna catch that top this time for sure. I mean, it sounded like you made money. You caught the bottom, right? I mean, catching the top, period. I mean, you're not gonna hear a lot of people tell you the stories. Oh yeah, I sold exactly at the top, right? You don't really hear about it because it doesn't really never happen, right? But if you can get near that top, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So short-term pain for long-term gain. It's a nice little line right there. Short-term pain for long-term gain. Nice little rap right there, guys. So Bitcoin could see $40,000. Despite these optimistic forecasts, not all analysts, I don't know why I do it. Sometimes I'm just like, these words just don't roll off my tongue. Not all analysts agree that Bitcoin's path to 110,000 will be smooth. Some foresee a sharp correction before reaching new highs. In September 1st, X post, Bitcoin analyst Magoo, PhD, suggests that Bitcoin could risk a correction below 40K before surging to new all-time highs, right? I don't really play into these little drawings, right? Because you can draw whatever the hell you want. I want to see some technical, like we've seen inverse head and shoulders, bull flag, stuff like that. But I do agree that something like this could easily play out before we, get back into sunshine and everybody screaming we're running to the moon, right? I definitely would never rule this out given that what we saw back in 2021, right? Mario said, what are your thoughts about Binance accumulating dog Elon Mars? I didn't hear about that, bro. I didn't hear about that. Is that true or is that just he say, she say? Because I mean, if that's the case, is dog Elon, which we haven't talked about a lot, are they trading? Let me see something. They're not on Binance right now, I would take it, right? So you guys what are you anticipating that they're accumulating possibly to drop a listing on Binance? I mean, like, I wouldn't say that it's incorrect. I just would like to see some proof, right? I would like to see somebody talking about or showing wallets that this is potentially happening. Because we've, especially in the Milady community, we've gone through this. We've gone through this so many times. I'm looking to see if anybody on here on CoinMarketCap was saying anything about Binance. I'll tell you, the comments are they're very bullish. They're very bullish. What I always say about this project particularly, and I'm not bearish, or trying to be bearish about this project. It's just, I don't know. This project just, I don't know. If you're trading and you've been holding for a while for this project, I tip my hat because this thing can be stressful, just chopping at the side for so long, dude, so long. And I feel like this project really, other than maybe this big spurt right here that was so brief, it really hasn't done anything when everything else was really running. You do see in March when everything was running, it did have a spurt, a nice little run up, but it to me just didn't see, it seemed like it was just so fast, so short, and then right back down to where it pretty much sits at, so I'm not being, like trying to be bearish on the project. I've always said, and we've covered this project plenty of times, that I always say, I hope that this project rips, right? It's always those projects that you always write off or you forget about. And I feel like Dog Elon Mars is one of them, right? Where just people have wrote this project off. If anybody's holding, they're still holding from years ago, and they're just like they're like, I'm gonna hold for until this thing finally rips. I hope those people pay off, because those are people I worry about right there, because this project to me is just like, holy crap. It's just traded sideways for so long, and I feel like it's been in the dark, and like no one really talks about it much. So who knows, man? But I hope Binance is accumulating, and I hope this thing rips out of nowhere and everybody's talking about Dog Elon. I hope. So you can see even on here, they're kind of playing out some kind of a, what is this? This is a COVID crash, Japan stock market crash, right? And it kind of looks like the bull flag that I have painted out for right now for Bitcoin since April. So, like I said, guys, we easily could see a nice little run towards the bottom, right? We can bottom out, 40,000, maybe even a little bit below. But I think that's only going to be the beginning of a big run that we could easily see. What do I always tell you guys about these projects? Sometimes, and this could be for the whole crypto space, sometimes you need to see those epic drops, just so you can kind of flush out the current kind of just like stance that we're in crypto, and finally just kind of start over and let the momentum start building again. In some projects, you'll see that happen where there'll just be this dramatic drop, and you think it's all over, and then out of nowhere, they just like literally catapult and start running up to new highs. And it's like the momentum starts building up, the hype starts building back up. And I feel like that's what we need in the crypto space right now. We've gone through just this up and down kind of move. And it really hasn't been like we've been going crazy up. We've been really just, we run up now to like 60,000 and we get rejected, and it's right back down to like 57K, right? So it's that emotional roller coaster that we've been talking about, that we just, I feel like the market really needs to get past, and maybe a dramatic drop might end up doing that. It might suck during it, but if you're accumulating, it won't, but the uphill run that we will get after that, I think will be epic. So Bitcoin wallet linked to Doquan moved $62 million, which isn't too much, but what's going on with this guy? So amid Terraform Labs' ongoing unwind and the extradition battle involving the founder of Doquan, a wallet linked to both entities moved 62.8 million worth of Bitcoin. According to the data of Arkham, an address associated with the beleaguered blockchain firm Terraform Labs and its detained founder Doquan transferred 1,075 Bitcoin to a new wallet on September the 2nd. On-chain analytics from Arkham indicated that Terraform Labs had approximately 2 million in altcoins remaining in its reserves as part of a court agreement with the U.S. Security and Exchange Commissions. Terraform Labs is required to disband operations and close its business. The settlement has reached more than 2 years after the collapse of Quan's Terra blockchain in mid-2022, which triggered a cascade of bankruptcies that reverberated throughout the cryptocurrency industry. Reports estimated that the Terra implosion caused more than $16 billion in damages, not including the collateral fallout from other companies' failures like hedge funds Three Arrow Capital and Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX. This was all during the bear market, right? So meanwhile, founder Doquan fled shortly after the crash and spent months as an international fugitive. He was eventually apprehended in Montenegro, where authorities executed an Interpol warrant for his arrest on charges of document forgery. Following more than 6 months in Montenegrin prison, Quan was released during an ongoing extradition dispute between the U.S. and his home country of South Korea. And we all know the story about all this stuff. We don't need to even get into it. But yeah, so it looks like they're moving over some money. What are they anticipating? They anticipating some kind of a drop. Who knows? All I know is that $2 million or whatever it was, right? It was $2 million? No, I'm sorry, $62 million. Damn. I mean, it's nothing for Bitcoin, but that is a big little bag right there. Big little bag. Avalanche announces large network upgrade since mainnet. Oh, yeah. Avalanche is an upcoming ecosystem for sure. But we're not going to get into that. So Bitcoin could drop 20% after Fed rate cuts in bearish case, but weak September presents buying opportunity. This is what we've pretty much been talking about, right? So a 25 basis point Federal Reserve cut could be positive for markets, but a higher 50-point move could signal growing concerns of a recession and a deeper correction for risk assets. So you know what's crazy, guys, is before we're like calling for some kind of a bigger move in regards to the Fed's easing, right? We want to see something where a 0.5, 0.75. But they're saying that if they do actually, if the Feds go a little bit more, a little bit more higher as far as a reduction in interest rates, that actually could be negative to the market, indicating that the Feds are terrified that there's a recession ahead of us, right? And if you look at the charts, I told you this is going to keep moving. We have literally 2 weeks until the FOMC meeting, and you guys can see 61% now. Yesterday it was like 70% or something, 66 I think. Now it's 61% are calling for a quarter to a half, and you have 39% calling for a half to 0.75 as far as a reduction in interest rates. So these are going to shift, I think, a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if we get close to this FOMC meeting and it's almost 50-50, right? But what it sounds like from this article is that for the markets, we would actually want a lower reduction as far as only a quarter basis point, because that would signal that the Feds are confident that the markets, that the economy is okay, and we're going to basically do this smooth landing like they've been saying. If the Feds come out and they're basically more aggressive than they said they were going to be, we could be seeing that they're trying to basically not cover up, but they're anticipating that if they don't, put the pedal to the metal, that we could see, a possible recession, ahead of us, and that would be nothing but tragic for the economy and for the markets, especially risk-on assets. Flip, my bad, bro. I forgot that you were asking me about Turbo. Let's bring up Turbo, dude. Let's bring up some Turbo. What's Turbo looking like as far as the market cap? $200 million, not too bad. What was this thing at the top of its game? So it got up to a little bit over 600 million. Like I said, there was a time where, it just felt like this damn thing was just running and running and running. And you guys can see this massive run up as far as for Turbo. Ethereum-based DeFi project that's now, I believe, traded on a lot of bigger exchanges. Crypto.com, Gate.io, Kraken. You have a lot of bigger exchanges. Hasn't been picked up by Binance or Coinbase yet, but you can see that it is trading on some solid some solid central exchanges, which always gives good potential as far as just new investors jumping in. As far as the project, obviously, we saw this epic run. We saw an all-time high up towards around this 98 mark. Right now, it is sitting at the 35. So you've seen a massive run-up, and then we saw the gradual downward move. Obviously, this massive run-up was around when the markets were running, right? And it has retraced as the markets have come down. So with that being said, you can kind of see, if we can see, that it's formed some kind of a solid bottom. Now, this thing could easily break, but let me see here. You can kind of see from where I mapped out that this has pretty much been where it's found some solid footing as far as in between the 618 and the 786 at around this 31, 32 mark right here. So what I would say is right now it's sitting between this spot for some support and hitting its head at the 618 as of now, right? So if let's just throw in the analogy that we think that September is going to possibly give us a little bit more pain. If this is a project that you're looking at or looking, to possibly jump in on, obviously I'm not giving out financial advice, but this project, if we're going to see more pain in the market, is going to obviously move with the market. So if you could have patience and possibly wait for under this 32 mark, possibly getting around the 786 and around the 32 to the 21, this could be a good buy zone as far as for this project. Market cap, like I said, came down like crazy. Top of the market was a little over 600. Now it's trading at a little bit over 200. So it's come down a solid amount, right? I don't see this thing coming back down to some of these levels, but you could see this thing drop a little bit below the $200 million mark, which would give us a price range of what I said, a little bit under the 32, somewhere around the 786 in between here. So that could be a good buy zone flip in regards to just accumulating this project if this is something that you're looking for. And then as far as Myro, I know you said that you like Myro as well. I personally have been I've been personally adding a lot to my bag as far as Myro, just because. So we look at Turbo right now, $200 million market cap, right? When we pull up Myro's market cap, $60 million. $60 million. This thing is literally 1/3 of what Turbo is, and after Turbo's already dropped down like crazy, right? So me personally, I think that I think Turbo has a little bit more exposure than Myro, right? When you're looking at some of the exchanges, but if you really think about it, Myro's market cap, 60 million. This thing's traded on KuCoin, Crypto.com. You have a lot of the same, if not more, central exchanges that it's trading on versus like a project like Turbo. So as far as exposure, this project is right there with it. And then obviously what I like about this one, Turbo is an Ethereum-based project, which doesn't really matter if you're buying off a central exchange. But what I like about Myro is that I just buy it off the swaps and I just go around all those big central exchanges, the central exchange fees, right? So I just swap over Solana for Myro through Jupiter or whatever the case is, and it's cheap, fast, and I'm able to just hold it in my DeFi wallet. So I personally, that's a big thing that I like about Myro, is that I still can just pick it up off of my DeFi. I don't have to deal with central exchanges, but it is on a bunch of central exchanges, which gives that potential for a lot of new investors to come across the project. So definitely interested. If you're interested, check out Myro on Solana as well. Hey Gina, what's going on? Ricky said, when we get an altcoin cycle, it will feel like everything got listed on Binance. Right, dude? It will. I honestly don't think, like right now, have you guys heard of any major projects or any projects that have been listed on Binance recently that have been going crazy? Like, I'm sure there's probably a few, but I really haven't, nothing as of late, right? It feels like we are literally in, like we were in a bull run. Right now we're in intermission. We're in intermission right now. You know, the elevator music's playing and we're all kind of just sitting there. And it's like some people are just not going to be able to hold out, and they're going to just be like, this is my floor, I'm getting off, aka just selling off before we start taking off, you know? So it's just the time that we're in right now, guys. It can be, you know, I think it can be brutal for some people because it's just so boring. It's so boring, and we're just, one day we're looking like we're about to take off, and then the next day we're right back down, right? NFK, not looking too bad. Obviously, we've come down like a little bit. Obviously, with Solana, you know, taking a crap, we're going to move with Solana. So, I mean, right now, $60,000 market cap. Our liquidity is still looking great, even after everything that we've seen. Telling you guys, Solana starts ripping back up to $200, and I'm telling you guys, mark my words, this project, we're going to be rolling. We're going to be sitting here just on the cuffs of breaking $1 million again, easily. It's not going to take much money either for us to get up there. So right now, $60,000 market cap. I hate to sound gimmicky, but it's like such a freaking like micro market cap that we could just easily just freaking just go crazy. It won't take much. I was going over to call with Knife because I had been waiting, and it looks like calls had a little bit of a bounce. It's up 8% today. If you guys remember, I was looking at it yesterday. I forgot to do it. Remember yesterday I was telling you guys, I was like, man, I'm going to buy in on call. I'm just like, I'm screwed. I'm just going to throw a bag at it, and I freaking didn't do it. And look at it. It jumped up 10%. Jumped up 10%. You guys see that? Gina said, do you think Ordi will drop again? I mean, if you buy in on us having a bad September, of course ORDI is going to drop, right? Of course. That's why I keep pointing out, look at this epic W pattern right here that played out for ordinals. This is why I keep telling you guys, like for ordinals particularly, for myself, we keep breaking down towards this level. Anything below this 2650 area, I just keep accumulating. I'm just going to keep accumulating, right? And that's what it is. Like right now, I kind of, days like this, I'm up, a nice amount on my ordinals, but I'm like, man, bro, I'm not up like crazy where I'm going to go, run to the bank, so I'm like, dude, why don't you just come back down towards the buy zone so we can at least accumulate, Gina said, you did that, Crip. You made call go up. I wasn't going to say that, Gina. I really wasn't going to say that, but that's why call went up, right? That Crip effect. I remember there was this other DeFi project. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like a project that had like $5,000 liquidity. The market cap was like 10 grand. And I was like, I'm going to buy in. And everybody in the Discord bought in. And that thing jumped up like 80% in like 2 hours because everybody from the stream, So, I mean, obviously I didn't have that effect on call, but I like to think that I did. And it's not just me. It was all of us, right? It's a group effort here. It really is. So let's just let's look at what we have ahead of us for the macro. Because remember yesterday, that was like the main thing we were all talking about, is that we have certain things ahead of us for tomorrow. No, that was today. Tomorrow we have the JOLTS job openings coming out. That's going to be tomorrow. We have the ISM service PMI, which is coming out on Thursday. And then what I think is going to be the bigger market mover is going to be the unemployment non-farm payrolls dropping on Friday. That's what I think is going to be the big mover, is going to be the job reports. So for Friday, particularly, what they're indicating is that the forecast is that the government, or not the government, but the economy created 160,000 jobs. Right, previous was 114, and forecast we're looking at somewhere around 4.2% for unemployment, which technically means that we're going to be trickling down a smidge as far as unemployment. I just don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. I just because I always see, for the last like few weeks, I've been seeing a lot of like bigger companies doing layoffs. I hope that it doesn't go up anymore, because it's just going to be, I think at this time it's actually doing more damage to the market, because the higher the unemployment, the more people are scared. Investors are thinking that we're not going to be able to wing ourselves away from a recession, right? But if you start seeing unemployment topped at 4.3 and we start just coming down just a little bit, then you're going to see a lot of investors actually having confidence that the feds know what they're doing and that they have this unemployment and inflation under control. So that's going to be on Friday. So we definitely will be covering that. It's not dropping though in the morning, I don't believe. Yes, it is. So we'll have a morning stream on Friday for unemployment. That'll be a good stream right there. So we'll see how this plays out. But for now, guys, I'm not expecting too much, right? Today we had a down day. Tomorrow we'll have an update slightly, and then the next day, what do you guys think we're going to have? We're going to sit in this channel probably for right now. And I told you guys, we've been covering this. September could be just one of those months where even if we're not down, could be the absolute boring, the boringest month that we've had in this cycle for this year, right? And I think that could be far worse than us either moving up or moving down. Us trending sideways, people can't handle that. So what time Friday? It'll be the numbers come out 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we will be streaming. We'll start the stream around 8 o'clock, getting us all set up. So we'll definitely get that taken care of. But other than that, guys, there's really not much else going on. You can see the market's basically in the red for today. So I'm going to let you guys have a good night. I appreciate you guys coming here. Tomorrow, hopefully we have some bigger things to go on. We can, hopefully the market's running and we can at least, get some excitement back into the market. So other than that, guys, you guys be strong out there. We're going to be fine. Flip, thank you for the super chat, brother. I really do appreciate that. If you guys need anything from me, Flip, if you need anything, let me know in the Discord, bro. I know I didn't cover too much about Turbo, but if you have any other questions, let me know, brother. We can do a one-on-one session. No Diddy on that. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful night. Be safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys?